Yo, what is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my NBA DraftKings picks for the Christmas Day slate. We do have a 5-game slate on Christmas. One thing to note, I am recording this video a little earlier than normal. I'm recording this Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. Just wanted to give some of my thoughts on the Christmas Day slate. I will be playing this slate. I play it every year. Usually one of my favorite slates is the Christmas Day slate for NBA. Just because we got a lot of good games. All the games are like one after the other. So you never have two games going on at once. You can watch each game like as it goes. And like I said, there are just a lot of good games today. Got the Warriors and the Cavs. Houston versus OKC. OKC should be a good game. Washington versus Boston should be a good game. Even the Lakers versus the Timberwolves. That game should be good, at least for fantasy. Roster construction on this Christmas Day slate is definitely going to be interesting. The players, their prices are lowered down a little bit. It is really hard to find value on the Christmas Day slate. We're not going to have like this cheap, just 4K, 3K value that we get like on any other slate. Because usually players don't rest on these Christmas Day slates. They usually always play. Unless they're really, really injured, they won't play. But guys won't really rest on Christmas because these are such big games. So I doubt we're going to be able to find like some really, really cheap value plays, which might lean to you only playing like one stud. A lot of good studs on the slate. Obviously, since we have all these good teams playing, you got Harden, LeBron, Russell Westbrook, KD, all are available on the slate, even Embiid, Simmons. It's going to be really hard to fit in two of them unless you're playing like somebody like that's 3K that you just think has a nice game. But as of now, I'm just looking to probably pay up for one stud and get like a lot of good mid-tier options. So looking at point guards, at least the studs here, we got James Harden and Russell Westbrook at this position. Now right now, as I'm recording this video on Sunday morning, we don't have any news on Chris Paul. He didn't play. I believe their last game was Friday or Saturday, I believe. Chris Paul didn't play in that game. Yeah, Friday was the last time the Rockets played. Chris Paul did not play. He's had at least 3 days, at least 2 full days to rest up. I would imagine Chris Paul plays. Obviously, if he doesn't, that's going to leave Harden with a ton of usage. Tough matchup against OKC. Harden's going to see like Roberson defense, might even see some Paul George, two very good defenders. But with the usage, the shots Harden's going to see with no Chris Paul, obviously he probably becomes the best stud on the slate. But I have a good feeling that Chris Paul is going to play today. And we'll talk about LeBron later, but I think LeBron's probably my favorite stud on the slate unless we get news that Chris Paul isn't going to play and then we can play Harden. One thing to note though, guys, this slate does start at 12 o'clock. I'm not sure if DraftKings is doing late swap or not. I'd imagine they're not. The Rockets don't play till 8 o'clock, so unless we get news early, you're really going to be rolling the dice on Chris Paul. Even if you play him or if you decide to play Harden, you're really going to be rolling the dice because this slate locks at 12 o'clock. And there's some teams like the Timberwolves-Lakers game doesn't start till almost 12 hours later, which definitely sucks. You might want to play some late swap contest on this slate if you can, if you find some low entry stuff that you like to play. Because having no late swap on this slate is really going to suck when we have teams playing way later than normal. But anyways, looking back at point guard, obviously Harden's a great play if Chris Paul's out. Russell Westbrook's really cheap at 10-9. Like I said, DraftKings, they did lower everybody's prices just a little bit. So we're getting Westbrook at 10-9 today. That is a really nice price tag. Westbrook's been playing well. I feel like this is one of those games Westbrook kind of gets up. He takes over this game. Obviously, if Chris Paul plays, it's going to be a pretty tough matchup for Westbrook being guarded by Chris Paul. But it doesn't really matter with Westbrook. The guy's matchup proof. If Chris Paul plays, I think I prefer Westbrook over Harden. If Chris Paul is out, I prefer Harden over Westbrook. Pretty simple. I doubt I'm going to be on Ben Simmons at 9-3. I don't think he's a guy I'm trying to force in today. I think I prefer the guys above him I think I prefer like Harden, Westbrook over Ben Simmons. Don't have a lot of interest in Ben Simmons. Obviously, he's a good play, great matchup against the Knicks. But I just like the guys that are a little bit more expensive. But looking for other options that we can go to. Do have some mid-range options. You got Kyrie against Washington. You got John Wall against Boston. Don't think those are the guys I'm going to be looking to go to today. Really like the expensive options just at this position. If I had to choose one of these guys, I think I'd go with Kyrie playing at home. And Kyrie has been playing well lately, been scoring the ball a ton. 49, 46, 45 DraftKings points his last 3 games. 33 points, 32 points, 25 points. So Kyrie's been playing well lately. If I had to choose him or John Wall, I think I'd go with Kyrie at 8,300. But I don't think those are guys I'm going to be looking to force in today. If I was to go to this mid-tier for maybe a mid-tier play, definitely like Lonzo Ball here, 6,900 going up against the Timberwolves. I would imagine Lonzo's going to see some Jeff Teague defense. Definitely a good matchup for Lonzo. The guy's been playing so well lately, been getting a ton of minutes. He is questionable as I'm recording this video on Sunday morning, but I'd imagine Lonzo plays here. And he is definitely a guy I have a lot of interest in, 6,900. But then looking for value at point guard, this is where it gets really thin. Not a lot of value plays you're really going to like. Just not a lot of guys that we're really going to have interest in. Obviously, you can go to a guy like Jordan Clarkson and just hope he comes off the bench and shoots the ball well. You can go to Jarrett Jack at 4,600, but that's not really a play that I'm really thrilled about. Don't think point guard's a position I'm looking to go cheap at least on this slate. I think I'm going to pay up here or go to like this mid-tier with Lonzo, maybe even Kyrie. Definitely like the expensive options here, though. So let's go ahead and look at shooting guard. Look at options we want to target here. Obviously, you got Harden up top here if you're playing him at this position. But looking for other options, got Jimmy Butler in this mid-tier at 8,400. Definitely a good spot for Jimmy Butler defensively. But at 8,400, I don't think he's a guy I'm forcing in today. I think we do actually have some good mid-tier options we could go to, maybe some value plays at shooting guard. This might be a position we want to go cheap at unless we're playing Harden here. So I'm down. I'm going to be on Jimmy Butler in that mid-tier. You got Bradley Beal at 7K, really cheap price tag for Bradley Beal, but definitely a tough matchup against Boston, one of the best defensive teams against the shooting guard. Don't know if I want to go there. Tough matchup for Bradley Beal, but really cheap price tag. Klay Thompson's in a good spot against Cleveland. He's also very cheap as well at 6,400. We know what kind of upside Klay Thompson has when he's making his shots. But I don't know if I want to go to him on this slate. I think there are better options that we can go to. Definitely an injury we're going to have to watch is Brandon Ingram. He did not play on Saturday. And like I said, I'm recording this Sunday morning. I'd imagine Ingram plays. I feel like a lot of these guys that are questionable or that sat out their last game, I feel like a lot of them are going to play today. So like Chris Paul, Ingram, Lonzo, I feel like a lot of these guys are going to play today. But Ingram is definitely a guy we're going to want to keep our eye on. Obviously, if he sits out, that's going to upgrade guys like Lonzo, just upgrades for a lot of guys in that starting lineup. Even some of the guys coming off the bench could see upgrades like Josh Hart, maybe even Jordan Clarkson. But I have a good feeling Ingram's going to play today. And if he does play, don't think I'm going to be on him. Tough matchup. He'll probably see some Jimmy Butler defense. Doubt I'm going to go there at 6,300. I think this is a position we can definitely save at. Maybe go 6K and under. Some good options here. Andrew Wiggins seems really cheap at 5,700. He might be a guy we have to go to on the slate if we want to fit in a stud or two. He is very cheap at 5,700. It is a great matchup against the Lakers. Obviously, Wiggins just hasn't shown any upside lately. Hasn't really been paying off his price either. But it is just a 5-game slate. We don't really have a lot of options. It is a good matchup against the Lakers. I could see going to Andrew Wiggins at 5,700 if you're looking to save some salary. You got Eric Gordon at 5,600, who is obviously a great play if Chris Paul is out. If Chris Paul plays, don't know if I want to go there. I think we could definitely go to Jaylen Brown at 5,200 if we're looking to save some money at this position. Brown has definitely shown a lot more upside than Andrew Wiggins has, so he might be the guy you want to go to in this 5K range if you're going here as shooting guard. Coming off a very nice game against the Bulls where he put up 34 DraftKings points in only 27 minutes. I have a feeling Jaylen Brown's going to play plenty of minutes here. They're going to need his defense to guard guys like John Wall and Bradley Beal. So I would say we probably want to go to Jaylen Brown in that 5K range if we're looking to save some money at this position. And then if we're looking to go 5K and under, I think this is where we can find plenty of value. I see a couple guys that I feel like a little bit underpriced, at least just given the matchup and how well they've been playing this year. I feel like a guy like Courtney Lee, a little bit underpriced today at 4,800. Just in his last 4 games, he does have a stinker in there against Charlotte where he only put up 6 DraftKings points. But you look at the game against OKC, 34 DK points, against Boston, 26, against Detroit, 30 DraftKings points. And just 4,800. If you're going to play some cash games today, definitely think Courtney Lee is a guy you want to consider. Really good matchup against the Sixers. He only needs about 25 DraftKings points to pay off this price tag. I think he is one of the better value plays on this slate, especially shooting guard. I think if you're not playing Harden here, this is probably a position you want to go a little bit cheap at, save some money. So a guy like Courtney Lee at 4,800, I definitely think he's in play today. Also got 2 really cheap options we could go to here that are 4K and under. First off, Andre Iguodala. Feel like he's another one of the better value plays on this slate. Going up against Cleveland, we know Iguodala is going to be needed here defensively to guard LeBron. So I have a good feeling Iguodala is going to play a ton of minutes off the bench. He's only 3,900. He's dirt cheap. Probably one of the better value plays on this slate. Him and Courtney Lee, 2 guys that really stand out to me for just cheap value plays. I think shooting guard is a position you want to go down or go pay down here. So Andre Iguodala going up against Cleveland. They're going to need Iggy defensively to guard LeBron. I'd imagine Iggy plays at least 30 minutes today. So he's a good value play in my opinion at 3,900. You could also go to Jared Bayless at 3,800 if J.J. Redick does not come back. But I think I would prefer Iguodala at 3,900. I think he's the best value play at shooting guard if you're going 4K and under. But that's what I'm seeing as shooting guard. Moving on to small forward. Definitely got some studs here that we can pay up for. Got LeBron at 11K going up against the Warriors. KD in that same game at 10,500. Me personally, I think if I'm having to choose between one of these guys, I'm definitely going to LeBron today. I've said this before. We want to roster LeBron when he's going to be in these competitive games where he has to take over. And that's going to be the case today. I would imagine this game's going to be very competitive. LeBron, I feel like, is going to take over this game. I would be very surprised if LeBron doesn't put up at least 55, 60 DraftKings points today. So he's probably my favorite stud overall in this slate. Obviously, if Chris Paul does not play, you have to give a big boost to James Harden. But I still feel like this is one of those games where LeBron just takes over, does it himself. So he's my favorite stud at small forward, probably my favorite overall stud in this slate. Kevin Durant's definitely also up there, though, at 10,500. We know how well KD has been playing without Curry. Curry not expected to play for this Christmas Day game, so KD's going to continue to just handle this offense, do a lot of the scoring. He has been sort of inconsistent lately, has a 38 drafting point game against Memphis, only 33 their last game against Denver. But we've seen the kind of upside KD has, 65 against the Lakers, 72 against the Lakers when he played them twice. And we know how well KD played in the finals last year against Cleveland, so this is a game KD's probably going to get up for. He's going to be he's going to be relied on a ton offensively. He's a great play as well. I think if I just ranking the overall studs on this slate, the guys that are over 10K, Durant, Westbrook, Harden, and James, I think my favorite overall is probably LeBron, unless Chris Paul doesn't play. I think I'd go Harden, then LeBron. But right now it's LeBron, then I'd say KD number 2, then Westbrook, then Harden. Probably not going to be on Harden if Chris Paul plays. But we know the kind of bump that Harden gets if Paul does not play, obviously. But looking back to small forward, obviously, like I said, you got LeBron, KD here. LeBron being my favorite play at this position if you're paying up. We do have some mid-tier options that we can go to. Kyle Kuzma didn't see much of a price decrease like all the other players on the slate. He's pretty expensive at 7,300. Obviously, he's been crushing lately. He's been playing very well. This is also a tough matchup for Kuzma. I'd imagine he sees plenty of Jimmy Butler defense. I feel like if I'm getting exposure to the Lakers today, it's probably going to be with Lonzo, might even be with a guy like Larry Nance or Julius Randle. So I think I'm going to be off of Kuzma. If I'm going to the pay up at small forward, just go up to LeBron. He's the better play there in my opinion. You got Paul George at 6,800, who feels really cheap today. He's been playing a little bit better as of late. Just in his last 3 games, 35, 32, and 50 DraftKings points. I have a feeling that this is a game where Westbrook takes over. But Paul George could definitely return value on this cheap price, especially with the way he's been playing lately. I think he's a good option in that mid-tier. I'd probably prefer him over Kuzma. Just feel like this is a tough spot for Kuzma. Even if Ingram is out, he's going to see plenty of Jimmy Butler defense. And Kuzma didn't see much of a price decrease at all, unlike a lot of the other players on the slate. He's still pretty expensive at 7,300. So I think I prefer George over Kuzma if you're going to that mid-tier. And then maybe if we want to try and find some value here, we want to go a little bit cheaper at this position. You do have some 5K options here, like Andrew Wiggins you can go to. Carmelo's been playing a little bit better lately. Don't know if I want to go to him, though on this slate. You got Jason Tatum at 5,400, Jaylen Brown 5,200. Those guys could be some cheap options you go to. Looking 5K and under for cheap value. You got Courtney Lee, 4,800. If you want to go to him, I think he's one of the better value plays on this slate. You can play him as small forward. It will be interesting to see how the Lakers defensively plan on guarding Taj Gibson and Karl Anthony Towns. Obviously, we know those guys play a ton of minutes, so somebody defensively is going to have to guard them. Not sure if we want to go to Larry Nance, though. He's been playing low teens in minutes lately, 12 minutes, 10 minutes his last 2 games. We can probably just go to Julius Randle if we want to get exposure to the Lakers bigs. Don't know if we need to go to Nance, but like I said, they're going to need these guys to play minutes to guard Karl Anthony Towns, Taj Gibson. We know Taj Gibson, just the Timberwolves starters, those guys play a ton of minutes. So the Lakers are going to need some of their guys with size to guard them. But I think we'd probably rather go to Julius Randle over Larry Nance today. But I think that's pretty much it for a small forward. You can go to Iguodala here. He's small forward eligible. I think he's a better value play here. Obviously, LeBron's my favorite play this position. He's going to be a guy I'm trying to force in today. But if you don't want to pay up for him or KD, you got options like George in that mid-tier. You got Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. You got Iguodala down there if you want to go cheap. Moving on to power forward. Looking at this position, aside from LeBron and KD, you do have some other options here that you could consider paying up for. You got Porzingis going up against the Sixers. Don't know if I'm going to be on Porzingis here, at least not just jamming him in. He's not one of the first guys I'm putting in my lineup on this slate. I think he is one of the better tournament plays, though. I feel like Porzingis is going to go a little bit lower owned. We know what kind of upside Porzingis has. He plays very well at home, and I feel like this could be one of those games where just Porzingis just has a really nice game. but definitely not a guy I'm trying to force in. If I'm making one lineup, I doubt he's going to be in there. But looking under him, you got Kevin Love at 7,500 going up against the Warriors. This could definitely be an interesting spot for Kevin Love. Like I said, I feel like LeBron's going to kind of take over this game. But we can still go to Kevin Love. This guy has a ton of upside. Even though he hasn't been playing a lot of minutes, he's still producing 40, 44, and 40 DraftKings points his last 3 games. And the minutes haven't been that high either. 32 minutes, 30 minutes, 29 minutes. But if Cleveland wants to beat Golden State today, they're probably going to need some offensive guys like Kevin Love to play here. Even though this game could go small, I feel like Kevin Love's still going to see plenty of minutes to where he can pay off this price tag. So I don't mind going to him at all at 7,500 if you want to go to that mid-tier power forward. Definitely like Draymond as well at 7,200 in that mid-tier. We know Draymond always gets up for these games against the Cavs. He always likes to play well against LeBron. It looks like he did get hurt on Saturday. I didn't play any NBA DFS on Saturday, so I'm not really kept up with the injuries. I would imagine Draymond plays here. He is listed as questionable. I would imagine he plays. I feel like a lot of these guys that are questionable are going to play, like I said earlier. So Draymond's definitely a guy I like in that mid-tier. We know he's going to get up for this game and try and play well. With no Steph Curry, Draymond's going to be relied on a ton for just dishing out the ball, for grabbing rebounds. Could be a Draymond triple-double game. Don't mind him at all in that mid-tier if he plays. 7,200, I think he's a guy we can definitely go to. And if we're looking to this 5K mid-tier, we want to go here. Talked about Julius Randle back at small forward. I think Julius Randle is a guy we can definitely go to. He's been seeing more consistent minutes lately. 24, 23 minutes his last 2 games, whereas Nance has only seen 10 and 12 minutes. And like I said, somebody is going to be needed to guard Karl-Anthony Towns and Taj Gibson. I would imagine Julius Randle is going to play at least mid-20s, if not close to 30 minutes. Just 5K, we know the kind of upside Julius Randle has. I think he's one of the better, cheaper options at this position. If you're looking to save at power forward or center, I think he makes a ton of sense today at 5K if you are going to that mid-tier. And if we are looking 5K and under, I think there is one value play we can go to here. Jordan Bell at 4,900 going up against the Cavs. If no Zaza Pachulia, then I think we definitely want to go to Jordan Bell. He has been starting for Pachulia lately. Been seeing pretty consistent minutes. The minutes haven't been very high, but they've been consistent. 24, 26, 25, and 22 minutes. The production's been inconsistent his last 4, but they have been better just his last 2. 17, 18, 42, and 28 DraftKings points his last 4 games. Obviously, the production's been better as of late. 42 against the Lakers, 28 against Denver. If no Zaza Pachulia today and Jordan Bell is going to start again, I think he's another good value play we can go to at power forward or center at 4,900. That's what I'm seeing at power forward today, guys, for value. Let's go ahead and quickly look at centers that we want to target on this slate. We got options here that we can pay up for. Joel Embiid going up against the Knicks, Karl-Anthony Towns against the Lakers. I think if I'm having to choose one of these guys, I think I take the savings off of Embiid, take the $600 savings, go with Karl-Anthony Towns, who's in a great matchup against the Lakers. Obviously, both of those guys are great plays. Embiid is a great play. He has so much upside. But I think I prefer Cat, especially if you're going to pay up a center in cash. Cat's the more consistent option, and he has a ton of upside as well. We know Cat's going to get peppered with minutes. He's going to play almost 40 minutes just about every game. And if this game does stay competitive, it is being played in LA, so that should help with the blowout. I think Cat can definitely pay off this price tag. And he has tournament value to where he can put up 6, even close to 7x. So if I'm going to pay up a center today, I think I'd roll with Karl-Anthony Towns, take the savings off of Embiid, go with him. But obviously both guys are great plays in tournaments. Both of them have a ton of upside. But looking for mid-tier options at center, definitely got some options we can go to here. I feel like Steven Adams, way too cheap today at 5,500, going up against the Rockets. Clint Capella has missed the last few games for the Rockets. He is listed as questionable today. I would imagine that Capella is going to play. Obviously, if he plays, that's a little bit of a tougher matchup for Adams, but I still think he's way too cheap today. And if Capella is out, then Steven Adams should just totally dominate against Nene or whoever decides to start for, or whoever they decide to start for Houston. I think Adams is one of the better cash game plays on this slate, especially at center if you're looking to go a little bit cheaper. He just feels too cheap. It's very likely he pays off this price tag. He has tournament upside as well to where he can return 6 and 7x on this price. Definitely like Steven Adams if you're looking to save a little bit at this position. Don't mind him at all at 5,500. You got Julius Randle there at 5K as well, who I think is another good value play. Jordan Bell, if you want to go cheap at this position, if no Pachulia today, he could be an option at 4,900. You got Nene at 3,800 if Capella is out, but I don't think we need to go there on this slate. I played Nene on Friday, I believe it was, and he just totally crapped the bed. He only played like 16, 17 minutes. Obviously, they're going to need somebody to guard Steven Adams, but Tariq Black did get a lot of minutes on Friday. I think that might just be a spot we wanted to avoid all around if Capella's out. Don't think we need to go to Houston's bigs. So I think that's pretty much it for center, guys. I think that's pretty much it for this slate. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. Hope you have a great Christmas. Whether if you're watching this on Sunday when I upload it, or if you're watching it Monday on Christmas, enjoy the Christmas. Enjoy it with your family. The video schedule should be back to normal on Tuesday, but I did want to try and get a video out for this Christmas Day slate since I didn't upload on Saturday, and I do plan on playing this slate. I usually always play it every year. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas to everybody, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.